FAU UCV, Venezuela's contribution to sustainable design. Hello, my name is Irina Lugo, and with my partner Arancha Hernandez, we will talk about what is sustainable design in architecture, sustainable design in Venezuela, describe the FAU building of the Universidad Central as an example of sustainable design, and highlight the importance of sustainable design. Sustainable design in architecture is the use of materials and new ways to design that optimizes the use of natural elements that surround us every day, such as light, wind, temperature, precipitation, etc., and use these elements to make the building a comfortable place using a design that leaves aside the artificial light, artificial ventilation, and that the building can stand by itself for a long time without the use of elements that gradually destroy the environment. It's important to know that the construction and use of buildings are two of the most energy-consuming activities. For example, in the United States alone, buildings account for 72% of electricity consumption, 39% of energy use, 38% of all carbon dioxide emissions, and 40% of raw material use. Some of the principles a sustainable design must incorporate are low energy and water consumption, reducing greenhouse gas emissions to minimize impact on climate change, minimize impact on the local ecosystem, and emphasize quality and durability over price. Among the benefits of sustainable design we have improved air and water quality, conservation of natural resources, and stronger ecosystems, and contrary to popular belief, sustainable design may also bring economic benefits, such as reducing construction and operating costs, reducing the building's heating and cooling costs, etc. There are several laws in Venezuelan constitution that promote sustainable development, and some projects with sustainable design solutions have been built. There are companies that have been developing greener techniques construction-wise. OTIP and IDEC are the greatest examples. They create prefabricated pieces of concrete and steel that can be used to build houses or community centers, with minimum or no waste of raw materials in the construction process. For a more tangible example, we have Eco Cabañas, built in 2007 in Santa Elena by Christopher Nunn, using mostly recycled materials, and also the Universidad Central de Venezuela, which we consider is probably the first notable example of sustainable design in Venezuela. The Universidad Central is the oldest university in Venezuela. It was designed in 1721 and is one of the biggest and most important colleges. It has 9 buildings where they separate each career, and they are connected by covered halls of irregular shapes. It has 2 iconic buildings, El Aula Magna and La Plaza Techada. The first one is a very famous auditorium used for concerts, graduations, and many other events. The second one is the auditorium foyer, where people wait until the show is going to start.
The complex of the buildings that form the Universidad Central de Venezuela can be considered as buildings with a sustainable design. Most of them are designed so that throughout the day it has no use of artificial light or artificial ventilation, using parasols, open work walls, the orientation depending on the direction in which the sun rises, and many more. One of the buildings that forms part of this complex that shows better the use of a sustainable design is the Faculty of Architecture and Urban Planning, FAU. It was built in 1957 and designed by Carlos Raúl Villanueva, a famous Venezuelan architect recognized not only in his country but also in the rest of the world. The building has its open facades oriented in north and south direction to achieve several things. The north facade opens with the visual of El Ávila and tries to reduce sunlight with skin brisoles that lets enough light throughout the day. The south facade consists on an open work wall that serves as a translucent skin that reduces the intense tropical light, and the east and west facades are completely closed, exposing on the outer side a work of Alejandro Otero, with a composition of geometric figures, each one with a different shade of blue. The space that has been solved in a better way when talking about sustainable design is the composition workshop, located on the ground floor. For this space, the architect studied everything about the details of lighting and ventilation, and used a cover that generates certain folds that leaves a space between each other that lets in natural light. The creases of the ceiling also receive water and air, making the fact of sustainability as something that characterizes this space. The rest of the ground floor is composed by spaces with different use, and these are linked by halls and small green areas. And these halls are surrounded by open work walls where the modern discourse of spatial fluidity is shown, and throughout the day it has no negative impact on the environment. As we said before, the construction and use of buildings are one of the most polluting activities. So in our opinion, sustainable design has to become one of the main aspects of the design process of any architect. And we think this building, the FAU of the Universidad Central de Venezuela, is an excellent example of how, with simple solutions, architects can create a beautiful and environmentally friendly building. In recent years, sustainable design has acquired massive attention and importance because we live in a world where we can't destroy nature without thinking about the consequences anymore. It's true that we humans are causing global warming and climate change, but it is also true that we can reverse this situation. We have the technology and the techniques, but the most important thing we need is will, because this planet is our only home, and we are fighting for the right to live on it.